What's up, everybody? Schildhouse here with Fixed Setup Weekly. Taking a look at Week 3. We've got ARCA at Nashville Superspeedway, C Fixed at Chicagoland Speedway, B Fixed and A Fixed are both at Road America. So, if you're not down with road course racing and stock cars, don't worry. We've got ARCA, we've got C Fixed. I've driven them both, and I think they're absolutely fantastic. We've got Nate Stewart to help us out with the road course stuff, so you won't be lost there if you dive into that. All that and more in this week's episode. The ARCA Menard Series comes to Nashville Superspeedway, just a few weeks removed from NASCAR's return to this 1.333-mile concrete D-shaped oval. This race is 35 laps in length, takes place at 6:40 p.m. in sim. You get your one fast repair, but no sets of new tires. For my hot lap, I went with a 14-to-1 steering ratio, -12 offset to get the steering wheel straight, and 60% brake bias. My lap time was a 24.232. Back to the onboard shot with commentary this time. Setting up for turn 1, you're going to bounce off the rev limiter, and you're going to look for this ally banner is where you're going to start lifting off the throttle to get down into turn 1. It's going to take a little bit of brake to do it. You just toe that brake pedal a little bit, test the throttle when I know the car is set, fight the car all the way out of the turn. This thing is a handful. Setting up for turn 3, you're going to look for this divider. This access road divider here on the left-hand side is where you're going to start to lift out of the throttle. There's a good look at it. So that's where you're going to lift off the throttle. Again, very light brake pressure to get the car rotated to the bottom. Again, test the throttle as much as you can apply once the car feels set. Hammer down and finish the lap. Now let's take a look at my 20-lap run. For that, I bumped the steering ratio up to 16-to-1, kept the offset and brake bias the same, and when we look at the tire data, you'll see that the right front tire was 3% more worn than the right rear. Now, as I drove this car, I could definitely tell that I was overdriving corner entry just a little bit. If I backed it up like 2%, I'm sure I would have seen better tire wear in that right front tire. But even the way that I was driving it, the car felt pretty comfortable, and it almost was more dependent upon how I treated the throttle pedal than how I got into the corner. So what am I saying? Back up the corner, slow in, fast out. That's going to be the way you want to do it. Now, looking at the lap times themselves, I started around a 30.5 and end up around a 31.3, so about 0.8 of fall off over the course of this 20-lap run. Remember, the race is only 35 laps, so I had about 15 laps to go to do a full race run. But you'll see the fall off from lap to lap is really small, really incremental, very consistent lap times. And the way this car drives allows you to do that if you're taking care of it. Back up those corner entries, be smooth with the throttle on corner exit. You can't just get to the center of the corner and mash it. Take care of your stuff. This is a very, very fun combination for ARCA this week. I highly recommend you jump into it and give it a shot. C Fixed goes to Chicagoland Speedway, a D-shaped 1.5-mile oval located in Joliet, Illinois. ARCA was just here a couple of weeks ago, and it was great. And let me tell you something, C Fixed, also great. I love it. This race is 40 laps in length, takes place at 3 p.m. in sim. You get 3 sets of tires and 1 green-white checker. For my hot lap, I used a 14-to-1 steering ratio, left everything else alone. You don't even need the brakes for this lap. My lap time was a 31.156. All right, this lap is taken flat out, so I'm just going to show you where you want to start turning in. It's right about this sealant patch. I don't know what to call it. Start turning in right about there. Get that left front tire all the way down to the white line. Try to minimize the steering input. Keep that thing as smooth as possible. Don't go all the way out to the wall. Trace this seam and then go to the wall and set up for turn 3. Flat-footed all the way through, right around the bottom. It'll stick, She might fight you a little bit, but again, just be as smooth as possible all the way down. Cut the apron to complete the lap. That's fast. For my race run, I kept that 14-to-1 steering ratio, didn't touch the offset, put the brake bias at 60%, but you're really not going to be using the brakes. Looking at the tire wear, dead even, and that's why I'm so excited. No difference right front to right rear, and it drives beautifully. This is a balanced truck, and I'm so happy. I was so happy I didn't just make 20 laps, I made 25 laps. That's how much I was enjoying myself. And you look at the times, how consistent they are, that fall off, little bit by little bit. It's not huge chunks here and there, but I'm telling you, by the time 10, 15 laps rolls around, you're going to start feeling that rear grip start to go away, and you're going to have to ease out of that throttle just a little bit. It's not going to be able to full throttle it all the way around the track. Now, what I don't know is how these trucks are going to react in traffic. Obviously, dirty air is going to hurt, but this track allows you to move around. You can run the top. Like if you ran ARCA at this track a couple of weeks ago, you can get away from somebody, run a different line, and you're going to find some good results. So I would encourage you to move around the racetrack as you need to get out from dirty air and use this balanced setup to your advantage. It's so rare that we don't get an absolute plow box. I'm really happy. I love what I'm seeing. Go do C Fixed this week. A track that's as big as it is beautiful, the 4-mile, 14-turn Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, will play host to B Fixed and A Fixed this week. The Xfinity Series is no stranger to this racetrack, having raced here since 2010. We have seen some surprise winners as well, guys like Paul Menard and Jeremy Clements. Pretty cool. For the first time in history, the NASCAR Cup Series will bring their circus to town and challenge their drivers to get around this formidable racetrack. So what do we expect to see? Couldn't tell you. We have no idea. It's all unknown at this point, but we got a road course ringer, so let's see how he did. B Fixed is a 15-lap race that starts at 2:55 p.m. in sim. You'll have 3 sets of tires. Nate used a 10-to-1 steering ratio and 65% brake bias. His lap time was 2:15.466. All right, let's take a look at the lap from Nate Stewart's perspective. Go check him out at twitch.tv/doitfordale. Thank you again, Nate. All his information's down in the pinned comment below. First major braking zone for turn 1. This H&R sign on the right side of the road. That's going to be where you're going to want to start slowing down for turn 1. Big braking zone. Great passing opportunity. Second gear, right-hander. They call this turn 2 under the Briggs & Stratton sign. Whatever. But really, it sets up for turn 3. Speaking of 3, look for the 3 board on the left side of the screen. That's going to be your brake marker for turn number 3. Another right-hander, second gear. This will launch you down the second longest straightaway on the track. This is turn 4 under the Sargento Cheese Bridge. I don't know why that's a turn, but we move on to probably the biggest braking zone of the whole lap. Turn 5. And again, since it's turn 5, look for this 5 sign. If you've not started slowing down by then, you're going to be in trouble. Big braking zone, very slow, first gear, left-hander. That'll take you up the hill to the Corvette Bridge in turn 6. Look for these power wires going overhead. When you get about to these power wires is when you want to start slowing down. This corner right here will definitely catch you out if you're not very careful. Left-hander first gear for this one. Roll through turn 7, a right-hander. Little light braking, back to the throttle. This section's called the Hurry Downs. It leads to turn 8. Braking zone for this is about the 4 board on the right side of the screen. Easy to get a lot of rear wheel chatter, lock up the rear tires. Brake hop, first gear for that left-hander. Then we're into the right-hander. The carousel turns 9 and 10. A very long, sweeping right-hand turn. Easy on the throttle getting out of here. Hard to get rear traction. This will set us up for the kink, turn 11, a right-hander. About where these rumble strips start, blip the brake, get out of the gas a little bit, attack it, back to the throttle once the car is planted, and we'll make the run down to turn 12, Canada corner. There isn't really a good braking zone here, but this sign on the left-hand side, if you haven't started braking by here, you're going to be in trouble. Slow right-hander, second gear for Canada corner. 2 more turns to go. We've got the Bill Mitchell bend right here, turn 13. Just sort of roll the throttle as best you can. And then turn 14, the final turn. Your braking zone is going to be this rev sign overhead. Vehicles for life, brakes for life. Hit the brakes right there. Downshift to second, right-hander. Don't run wide here. Get a good exit up onto the very long front straightaway. And that's a lap at Road America in the Xfinity car. All right, let's take a look at A Fixed. It's also 15 laps, same time of day, same amount of tires. Nate's lap, same settings, 10-1, 65% brake bias. The lap time, 2 minutes 13.361. Now let's take a look at a hot lap in the Cup Series car. You'll notice that most of the braking points are pretty much the same as they were for the Xfinity car, more or less. The difference in speed and lap time is really just on the straightaways. All right, turn 1, right-hander, braking zone. Again, the H&R sign on the right side of the road. Second gear through here. Sets us up for the quote-unquote turn 2 under the Briggs and Stratton Bridge. Turn 3, braking point, the 3 board on the left side of the road. Again, second gear through this right-hander. Sets you up for turn 4 under the Sargento Cheese Bridge. And down to turn 5. Your braking zone for turn 5 is going to be before the 5 board on the right side of the road. If you haven't hit the brakes by 5, you're probably not making the corner. Through turn 5, first gear up the hill to the Corvette Bridge. Look for this red billboard on the right side of the road. You want to be on the brakes before that. You're probably going to blow the corner if you're not. Back down to first gear for this left-hander. For turn 6. And roll through the right-hander turn 7. Through the hurry downs we go towards turn 8. Look for this 4 board as your braking point for the left-hander of turn 8. Down to first gear we go, under the Road America Bridge, and through turns 9 and 10, the carousel. Just play with the throttle as much as you need to keep the car rolling, rotating, but not slipping those rear tires. Easy into the gas as you get out of turn 10 and set up for the kink. Look for the start of the rumble strips on the left side of the road, just past those cones. Ease onto the brakes here a little bit, cut a little speed, dive it into the kink at turn 11, and set up for the run down to Canada corner. Again, no really good braking points, kind of by feel, but you want to be on the brakes before the left bend, before those signs really start. If you're not on the brakes by then, you're probably not going to make this corner. Nice and easy into here, second gear right-hander. Careful on exit not to go wide and clip the grass. Roll through turn 13, Bill Mitchell bend, and then the final corner, look for the rev board sign, whatever the heck that is. That's your braking point for turn 14. Rev it up, get the brakes, hit this apex, beautiful, power out of here, don't clip the grass, and that's going to be a lap in the Cup car. Now, unfortunately, what I don't have to share with you is tire data for either of these cars, what the tires look like after a run. But in speaking with Nate about his observations, he said it's easy to chew up the rear tires, so be easy on that throttle. Short shift if you need to prevent spinning the rear tires, and don't overdrive the braking zones around here. It is so easy to go off. Once you hit that grass, you're just a passenger. What is rule number one that I always say for road course racing? Keep your car on the track and you give yourself the best advantage possible. And that'll do it for this episode of Fixed Setup Weekly. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, if this video helped you out, help me out. Leave a like on the video and share it out there with your friends if you think they can benefit from this type of content. If you want to learn more about me, you can follow me on Twitter, or you can join my community Discord. Both of those are linked down in the description below. Or you can watch me and my iRacing adventures over on my Twitch channel. Come on by. I'd love to see you there. If you're new around here, I'd love to see you hit that subscribe button and join our growing community. And if you're one of the OGs, thank you so much for your continued support. As always, if you're out there on track and you see my name, just be nice to me, all right? Appreciate you watching, and have a great week of racing.